yeah, that's how it works. Alrighty, let's spread our wings and fly around this field. Okay, you have been there long enough. Okay, that's been dealt with. So, let's get back to the mass murder of weeds. So hopefully, by the time we finish this, we'll have a decent number of rows done. Typically what I'll do is I will bale up everything that has been rowed so far, and then get back in the massey and run the ends once there's nothing in the middle. And then of course we're going to have to pick up all the bales, and I'll use the Anderson bale collector for that. Oh, that was a thing that came up in the store sales. The Anderson square bale collector, absolutely amusing. So this is the round one. We have 24 bales. It was this one came up, which same as that one, rolls the bales off the back rather than stacks them vertically. This one stacks vertically, so it could be a challenge in our farm. This one came up at 60,000 in the store sale, and the next morning it was still there, and there was another one for 58,000. So a little bit older, a little bit more worn out. It's just sort of like, yeah, I don't want that. And I still don't want that. We could go square bales, that's the thing. Now that we have the John Deere, we do have the power to run a big square baler. We would have to swap the Anderson doodad extractor for one that can do square bales, and but that then pushes all of our grass work off onto big 200 horsepower tractors. We would have to haul the thing that the square baler with this tractor. We would need to cut with the big mower. Although I'm not against getting a big M to cut the grass if one comes up in the store sales. It's either a front mower and a butterfly mower for the rear, or it's a big M would be a nice vehicle to have on the farm, but it would have to be really, really, really worthwhile, and it's gonna free up a tractor at that point. Yeah. As with everything, I've got a big tractor that can run big mowing kit. Do I need a big M? Not necessarily. But if I had a big M, then that could mow whilst my big tractor's doing other tasks. And it's the only big tractor I have at the moment. Now, as the farm matures, and we probably end up with at least 2 big tractors, if not 3, then the requirement for having a big M is less so, because, well, I've got 3 big tractors and they're sitting around for 60% of the year not doing anything. any of them doing anything. So maybe what I really want, this is annoying again, maybe what I really want is just to use the big tractors for all the jobs. But currently, if I get a big plough, a big planter, a big everything, then when it comes to harvest, I'm harvesting the field, I'm turning it over, I'm replanting it, and I've got one tractor that can do that. So at that point, when I've got multiple pieces of big equipment, I want more, I want another tractor to support all of the tasks at the same time. At the moment, I don't think I've actually got a piece of equipment that will only run on the John Deere. The John Deere is overkill for all of the equipment we have. And I could have seeded that field with the Massey or this tractor, it didn't matter. It's just that the John Deere was probably the most capable of all three. Plus, this tractor's the only one with crop sensors on it. And if it ever gets replaced, I'm probably going to get an active crop sensor that you just attach to the front 3-point linkage. Because it works better in some cases. Okay, the reason I'm going back up this edge is because I know I missed the left-hand edge of this field. So there are weeds along here that I didn't get. Once that's done, however, it becomes far more interesting because there is nothing you can do to actively see where you've been on the field with the mini-map. So it's all a big giant guesswork from here, and I'm really just looking for texture changes where you know what, this might be a good plan for auto width. A heading 0, set cardinal, back, Control X, and go. Okay, so at least from now onwards I'm going to get complete coverage of the field. I may be going over bits that I've already been over, but I think I've got a big enough headland at top and bottom for me to just drive all the rows, and we'll eliminate all the weeds. I can check the main map and see what the field ends up looking like. We should end up with no green when it comes to weeds. Unfortunately, it will all be brown. So let's bounce up here. I am on 54. And yeah, there's a patch there I missed. Have to go back to. It looks like we've got the rest of the field. We got all of that one. That had no weeds. This one may end up with weeds a bit later, because obviously we just seeded it, so the weeds won't be in evidence until next month, May. But we can get all this done. I'll probably hitch the baler up to the back of this tractor and we'll bale the grass once that's all done. Okay, we're going to hack us over to the right because that's the bias of the field edge. Looks like I did miss some weeds here. Yep. And then this will be our next row. I think I can do this with a worker. I've never actually tried to do this with a worker. Most of the time I'll do spraying myself. And I think there are some... So we've got a bunch of baling contracts. I'm still not seeing the £20,000 one. A bunch of fertilising contracts that you can use anything for. There's some spraying contracts which are spray with herbicide, and there's a weeding contract, and there's a FedEx truck, and a big giant box for us. Nice. I'm not expecting anything from FedEx. We did order some new desks for the office last week. Last week before the one just gone, and so they were supposed to be delivered any time before the 5th of December. So Mr. FedEx turned up on Wednesday with 3 boxes, and we've got 2 corner desks and 1 middle desk. We got the flat top of the middle desk and the drawer units of both corner desks. And he went back to his truck and he said, no, I've only got 3 boxes. So we had two of two boxes, 2 of 2, and 1 box of 1 of 2. And then same guy turned up the next day with all the boxes we were expecting to get. So I now have all of the desk units that need to be assembled. Now, so because Mrs. Osa's off to the hospital, they're saying for 3 days. They said that last time, and it ended up being about 2 weeks. So, yeah, if we go with 3 days, I've still taken 2 weeks off work on medical leave, because last time she came out, she was so weak. Wheel her around in a wheelchair or with a walker, and while she gained strength in her legs. But that was 2 weeks on her back. If she's only in the hospital for 3 days, her strength shouldn't be quite so sapped, and she'll be up and around quicker. But that does give me two weeks where we can completely strip the office down, and I'd like it to only take a day. Clean everything. I'm taking up the rug because the rug just keeps getting in the way of the office chairs, and they get stuck on it and lift it up and pull it out from under the desk legs, and just a pain in the butt. So we're taking up the rug, and we got a wooden floor underneath, so that's good enough. I bought special wheels for the office chairs, which are slightly bigger than the cheap and nasty plastic ones you usually get with office chairs, and they have rubber tyres, so they don't scratch a wooden floor surface. So not to worry about the bare wood being there. Plus it makes it easier to sweep and clean the floor with all the dust bunnies that collect around the computer equipment and their cables. So as I said, there we go. We'll strip out the office, we'll give it a jolly good spring cleaning, and then assemble the new desks and reconnect everything. So that's the plan for sometime in the next 2 weeks, but don't know which particular day that's going to happen on. How are we doing with the weed destruction? Field may 54. Nope. Gonna have to go back up that way and then find that bit. It may be that it's just that top bit that we weren't quite so accurate on. This could meet, yeah, this could kill all the weeds at the bottom end here. Though that looks like one. Nope. It's definitely about a metre wide strip on this side of the last track. So if I run down that blue line there, it should kill everything. In fact, I could probably run down this blue line and shut down all of the spray nozzles except the inner three again from there. So I could shut down the two outer sections. Don't have to, because we've got all of the special computer stuff. Oh, and I saw this week Millennial Farmer now has his new shed installed, which is looking very nice. Although, because it rained this, last couple of weeks, it does mean that the floor isn't as nice and dry as it was earlier on this year when they were spreading gravel and stuff all over it, or whatever they were spreading all over it. But that will help him, I guess. Just needs, I think, overall he's now looking at, he lost a grain bin, which kind of needs to be replaced. I could just follow that, I think. Let's pull that back up. No, it's actually the next row over. And with Andor finished, there's not really any new TV shows or streaming shows I'm watching now. The farmer I watch in North Carolina went in for his second knee surgery, so he's now all medically fixed and on the road to recovery. Apparently his knees were terrible, so he's done quite well with the recovery he's got through so far. Okay, that should be good. We'll fold that up, take it off cruise control, and I think what I'm going to do is we'll drop the herbicide in the yard up here, because it's kind of our spare overflow yard. It's going to be our arable yard, so all of the arable, or mostly arable dedicated equipment, will store down here. We have no seed left, so the seed tank is empty. Drop this right there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this back to the other yard and we'll fill it with the liquid fertilizer that's currently in the tank there. And then later on today I'll drive this back to this yard, because that's where it's going to live permanently, or more permanently. And we'll bring all the liquid fertilizer back with us and drop it in the tank at that yard. It's not the biggest, most importantest thing. What it does mean is, because we've sold or we've used up all the seed from the seed tank, what I can now do is load that seed tank with mineral feed, which means it's going to be easier to get the cows fed with mineral feed. Okay, how much liquid fertilizer do we actually have here? I guess that answers it. 32,289. So this is now empty. That's good. Back this off. And plant this up by the tree at the entrance. How about that? As I said, we'll go get the little green bale thing. Where's my baler? Right there. So by getting all the cutting done today, that does mean that any silage we create will be ready this time next month. And that's really what I'm looking at. We may sell some. I can't use any grass silage for cows. You can, but not in the cow feeder. So I'm just going to have to, this is really now a farm income field. If I do need silage, it has to be whole crop silage. Now that's not necessarily a problem. We can either buy it from the store or just make whole crop silage ourselves. And that's just a matter of mowing the ground, mowing a crop and baling it up and wrapping it. You can put it into a silage bunker, but I prefer to have 2 silage bunkers when you're making it in that method. So for right now, I'm going to open that up. No, I'm going to open that up. Bale size 180, so that's good. That's the biggest bales possible. And I do believe pushing that button puts it on auto unload. So as we know, this isn't the greatest of yields, but hey, it all makes money, so I'm not too bothered that it's not the greatest. It's the goodest enough, which is, hey, sometimes all you need. Width pickup on this is just awesome. I kind of want to make sure I'm not making bales in that end section. Oh, I just missed that. Why am I not hearing any game sounds? Oh, because I don't have my volume high enough. I think I've turned down the game volume quite a lot so that it doesn't interfere too much with what's happening here. But I do have a volume control on the desk for the speakers, so I can adjust what comes out of my speakers independently of what volume the various game settings are. The beeping is a little bit low there. Just about make it out. So I'm going to set it to that level, and that should be enough to distract me, I think. So this should be, I think, about one bale, maybe 2 per row, occasionally 2 per row, which is about usual. Hopefully this one will drop before we get to the end, which means I can swing around picking up some grass in that headland and not worry about dropping a bale there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or not. 99, 100, yes. So that has dropped at just the right point. Or not. And then we head back again. So I can't think what other fun stuff I've seen this week. Work ended up very annoying because obviously taking 2 weeks off because Mrs. Osa's in hospital, and so 3 o'clock on Friday, something's wrong with our data, can you fix it? Okay, define something. No response. Okay, I'll see if I can figure it out. Oh look, your data doesn't run through our transfer facility or a transfer app, so I'm going to have to mess with it. So after an hour and a half of messing with the data, I finally got it where it needed to be so I could run comparisons on it. Oh, it looks like you're missing 92 lines of data from your spreadsheet in the system. Are these the 92 lines? Have I identified them correctly? No response. Well, if you're going to respond to me now, I'm probably not going to get around to this until Christmas. But you can't come at 3 o'clock on a Friday afternoon and say, oh, I seem to be having problems, can you fix it for me? And not tell me, A, exactly what the problem is, and B, have I identified what the problem is on my own? You need to respond. Don't respond, stuff's not going to happen. And I'm not messing with data. Data is not my responsibility. Data is the business's responsibility. It's your job to maintain your data and keep your data good. I can make that task easier, but I'm not making things up for you. Because at the point I start making things up, it usually gets very messy. Oh. And there we go. A little bit further. Gotcha. And good day, long hauler. At work lurking. Great. That's good. So yes, I have 2 weeks of not work, and then Christmas week probably. So actually the week of my birthday, the week running up to Christmas, I am going to have somewhere in the region of about 250 emails of can you fix this for me? Oh, actually, that's one thing I should do is set my locator to say I'm not here so that everybody in IT knows I'm not around. I think they already do, and I think if you're approved for leave, the locator automatically updates to say not here.